Okay, before we fully dive into 2025, I'm not counting January. I don't know about y'all. I want to talk about all the books I read in 2024. Sam is also helping today because, as you see, he does not want to move, so he wants to be cuddled. That's fine. Okay. I made it through 13 books last year, which is phenomenal for me because I read tons of news and articles. I don't count that. Actual books, 13 books. If I get through one a month with the rest of my life, I'm very happy. So we did that. I'm going to tell you about some of my favorites. Before I do, I would like a disclaimer. I love to read, that was my asterisk. I love to read nonfiction. I love to read history, and particularly Black history. Now, I should say I was not always this way. Up until like early 20s, I really only read fiction. And then shout out to my friend Larry Everidge, who was like, you should read The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, which became one of my favorite books of all time. And it was nonfiction. And I was like, oh, I honestly didn't think nonfiction books could be that good. So then I did a whole 180. And now that's like kind of all I read. I try to switch it up some, as you'll see, but those end up being my favorite. I don't know about you guys. I don't know about me, but Sam is comfortable. That's all that matters. Okay, in light of what I said, let's talk about my three favorites. So Madness, Race and Insanity in a Jim Crow Asylum by Antonia Hylton. I did a review on this one. I know Antonia. I thought the book was phenomenal. And what she did was look at Crownsville State Hospital, which was one of the last segregated asylums, and spelled out the disparities between Black mental patients and white mental patients. Whew, sad, devastating. My little brother's always like, can you read a book that makes you happy? This is not one of them. Most of them piss me off or make me a little sad. And this one definitely will, but it's a very important read. Okay, next book, no happiness here either. Fire on the Levee. The murder of Henry Glover in the search for justice after Hurricane Katrina. Yeah, you guys know I'm from New Orleans. You know, I went through Hurricane Katrina. I was 16 years old then. So a lot of the things I learned about Katrina is actually from like growing up and then reading about it later, what was actually happening. In real time, I was just experiencing it. And so Henry Glover was a Black man whose body was found shot and burned in a car on a levee after the storm. And this book's phenomenal. It's by Fishman, and it tells the story of the police cover-up of his shooting. Just infuriating. Third favorite is Built from the Fire. I lost a copy, so I can't show it to you. But it's the epic story of Tulsa's Greenwood district, America's Black Wall Street. You have seen me post about this one. I ended up interviewing the author, Victor Luckerson, because my coworker, Danya Backus, is a descendant of one of the victims of the Tulsa massacre, and she asked me to be part of an event. I knew about Black Wall Street, of course, and had read news articles about it. I had not read a book that like detailed exactly what happened and what was destroyed. Basically, back in 1921, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, these white supremacists or white terrorists, whatever you want to call them, destroyed Tulsa's Greenwood district, which was this thriving Black community. You had Black business owners, all were very successful, and it built this beautiful community, and it was destroyed by white people. And to this day, it's never really been righted, even though there's so much evidence of exactly what happened there. I often tell you guys I thought I didn't like history growing up because the history we were taught in schools was so boring, which, what a shame. There's so many great history stories. This is one everyone should know about because they don't teach us, like, there were periods in history where Black people were thriving. And in many of those cases, white people were angry about that and came in and destroyed all of it. It's a very important moment in history. Victor does a phenomenal job in this book. He has so many details. I was like, Victor, were you there? Book to talk about. Sam is over me. He's gone. I'm going to give the last shout out to a fiction book. I love the author Jayne Allen. You guys saw me interview her for my first Stay Lit author interview. This is her latest book. It's like the movie The Holiday, but as a book with Black characters. It's called The Most Wonderful Time. I think it's lovely. It's like a holiday house swap tale, but then she also puts in like some race issues in there. I think it's phenomenal. I enjoyed the read. So we're gonna give one shout out to fiction. Okay guys, so these are all the books I read in 2024. Did I hate any of them? Absolutely. But that's for another video.